Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you a prenatal hatha yoga flow. It's gentle but a little challenging at the same time. All of the poses and moves should be safe for all trimesters, but I am doing them today at 14 weeks. And this flow makes your body just feel expanded, rejuvenated, refreshed after you do it. So I'm so excited to share it with you. By continuing and doing this yoga flow, you are agreeing that I am not held responsible for any injury or death that may occur in this video. There is a disclaimer down below. Make sure you read that, because by continuing into this video, you are agreeing to that disclaimer in the comments. Also, please make sure you check with your OBGYN and your doctor to make sure your pregnancy is safe for this activity or any activity that you want to do in general. Every pregnancy is different. I am recording this journey live, so we'll see how my workouts change. What feels good now might not feel good later, and I'm just excited to share this with you. It is pregnancy safe for all trimesters, but again, I'm doing it at 14 weeks, so let's get started. Thank you. Welcome to your mat. We're going to get started today in a wide-legged child's pose. Make sure you're taking your legs wider to accommodate more space and more comfortability. Feel free to place your head on the mat, or if this is too much pressure, just bringing your forearms up, keeping your upper arm vertical to give you a little more space. We'll be using an Ujjayi breath tonight, so that's in through the nose, back out through the nose. Connecting to your breath in this pose. Remembering to listen to your body, gently lift out of the pose, meeting in a tabletop position. We'll be doing some cat and cows. So on the inhale, arch your back for cow, and on the exhale, arching for cat. Depending on where you are in your pregnancy, you may have your normal range of motion, or this could be a very subtle motion, and both options or any range of movement is okay. Go ahead and connect this movement to your breath. Inhale, exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Stretching your right leg back, sending the left fingertips forward. We can engage our core here. We don't want to do crunches in pregnancy, but engaging our core to support our back is safe. Finding stillness or movement. Placing both hands down, opposite side. Letting your breath flow. When you're ready, meeting in tabletop, shifting downward facing dog. Finding stillness or pedaling out your feet. At 14 weeks, I'm still able to keep a normal foot placement, but feel free to walk the legs wider if that gives you more comfortability. Step to the top of your mat when you're ready. Bending the knees, inhale, hands overhead. Finding mountain pose, realigning your posture. Exhale, hands to heart center. Connecting with your intention and your breath. Inhale, reaching your hands overhead. Exhale, forward folds. Step back to plank. Wide knees, downward facing dog. Wide knees. Looking upward. Exhale, shifting downward facing dog. If a forward bend, a forward fold is too uncomfortable, you can use blocks or just taking the hands to the knees. The wide legs should give you enough space for your forward fold, but if it's not comfortable, just skip the sun salutations, or you can use some blocks or whatever feels best to you. Stepping your feet wide at the top. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching our hands overhead. Exhale, wide legs. This is a modification to not go all the way down, and then stepping back. Meeting in a child's pose. Wide knees. Upward facing dog. Tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet or finding stillness. Feet remaining wide in this pose if that gives you extra space and stability. If you're in the first trimester, you can have normal feet. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, forward folds. Stepping back to plank, lower knees. Wide-legged child's pose. Wide-legged cobra. It's technically not engaging in lifting our thighs. That way we have more support. Exhale, downward facing dog. Finding stillness or pedaling out the feet. Bending the knees, stepping wide, legs front of the mat. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale to heart center. We're going to turn to the side of our mat. Inhaling our hands overhead. Clasping our hands behind our back, opening the shoulder, opening the heart space, realigning our posture. Allowing our breath to flow. Shifting our weights back and forth, left and right, and releasing. Hands meet overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, bringing our legs a little wider, toes pointing out. Exhale, goddess squat, elbow to thigh. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, elbow to thigh. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, elbow to thigh. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, elbow to thigh. Keeping this up at your own pace. Developing strength while opening the hips. When you're ready, toe heeling the feet to the front of the mat. Extending through your right side, followed by your left side. When you're ready, hands on the hips, folding forward. Keeping the hands on the hips if this is enough. If not, you can do gentle twists. But the twists in prenatal yoga must come from the bra strap or up. We don't want to be twisting through the abdomen. Meeting in low runner's lunge towards the back of the mat. Hands to the inside of the left foot, supporting this low runner's lunge. During pregnancy, we have extra relaxin, which makes us prone to overstretching. So supporting with your hands and not going too deep into this is really important. You may also place a towel under your knee in the back for additional support. Stretching is still important, but we do want to take modified stretches. Walking back through center. Same thing, opposite side, facing the front of the mat. Connecting to your breath. Walking back through center, taking this one more time, back of mat, left knee down, hands inside of right leg. Coming back through center, meeting top of the mat. Right knee down this time, hands inside of left knee, supported low runner's lunge. When you're ready, walk back through center. Toe heeling our feet in, slowly reach our hands overhead. Hands to heart center, taking a pause. Facing the back of the mat, crescent lunge, right side. Lowering our left knee down and up for a couple pulses. If you want to add in a little extra strengthening. Stepping that left toe up a little bit may help with those lunges. Exhale, hands meet in heart center. Opening to warrior two. Gaze out over our pinky finger, our little finger. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, right forearm to thigh. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, right forearm to thigh. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, right forearm to thigh, straightening the leg. Folding, placing our hand on our shin or a block, and our left hand extends overhead. Triangle pose. Meeting in warrior two. Coming back, side of mat, reaching overhead. Exhale, hands on our hips, taking a pause. Preparing for same thing, left side. Both toes face front of the mat. Inhale, hands overhead, meeting in crescent lunge. Back toes up a couple inches, taking some pulses. Stepping our back foot back, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands through heart center. Preparing for our warrior two. Gaze over our left fingertips, knee out over our pinky toe. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, left forearm to thigh, right hand reaches overhead. Connecting this movement with your breath. Final one, meeting in triangle, straightening that left knee. Left hand to left shin, and right arm reaches overhead. Gaze can be up at those right fingertips. Releasing through warrior two, coming back to the side of the mat. We're going to take this flow one more time, crescent towards the back, right side. Holding our crescent this time, finding stillness. Hands come to heart center, opening to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, right forearm to thigh, left hand overhead. Straightening the right knee, right hand to right shin, left hand extends overhead, triangle. Coming back through warrior two. Meeting in center, hands overhead. Both toes front of the mat, crescent left side. Finding stillness this time. Letting our breath flow. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, opening warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, left forearm to left thigh. Inhale, straightening that left knee, left hand to left shin, right arm overhead. Meeting our hands at heart center, toe healing our feet together. Inhaling our hands overhead, exhale, hands to heart center. Changing angles for this pose, you may use a chair for modification, but it's not needed. Left hand reaches overhead, right foot kicks back to the hand. As you notice, there is no arch in my back. I'm keeping my knee pointed down. When you're ready, kick that foot out to the back, taking warrior 3. Depending on where you're at in your pregnancy, it's okay to use a chair or even your bed for added balance. Keeping a straight line of energy through that back body. If you're early in your pregnancy, you can take it as normal, grounding both feet down. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, left foot peels, left hand grabs left foot, avoiding overarching the back, knee points down, right hand reaches overhead. Modified dancer. Releasing, kicking that left foot out, warrior 3, with or without modification. Hands to heart center. Coming back, left knee raise. Grounding both feet into the mat. I'm going to turn and face you at the top of the mat. Coming into right knee raise, followed by right tree. Foot can kickstand as long as it's away from the knee joint. It can be on the thigh or kickstanded. Hands can be at heart center or extended overhead for additional balance. Releasing down, same thing, other side. Left knee raise, opening to tree. Foot on inner thigh or kickstanded, hands overhead or at heart center. Both feet ground down, taking a side body stretch on whichever side, and then switching side body stretch, other side. Rolling our shoulders back, once again finding a neutral position in mountain pose. Bringing our feet wide. Preparing for goddess squat. Feel free to use a block for modification. I did not bring one today, but I do generally use a block. Placing your elbows inside your knees, lowering your booty down, and reaching through the crown of the head. This position is really important to open the hips for labor, and it should be practiced multiple times a week. Again, with a block is fine for additional supports. Building strength in the thighs while also opening the hips. Transitioning out of this pose, toe healing our feet together. This time we're going to meet in a seated position, coming down for some seated poses. Whenever you're ready, bringing the soles of your feet together for a butterfly pose, trying not to overbend through the back, finding stillness or movement. I prefer little flutters, but stillness is also totally fine and acceptable. This is a continuation of opening our hips from the last pose. Finding a little bit of stillness. They say that the longer you hold a pose, the more it helps, but in pregnancy we don't want to hold too long. So let's do one-sided forward folds. Bringing your one foot to your inner thigh and folding over the other. I'm starting on my right side, but feel free to start on whichever side feels comfortable. When you're ready, bring opposite foot to inner thigh and folding over opposite foot. Again, not over flexing through the spine. Keeping a nice opening space between your belly and thigh and reaching through the crown of your head to avoid over flexing the back. For me, I struggle with this, and because of the additional relaxant, too much of forward folding poses that are seated can over stress your back. It's better to back off a little bit than to go in too deep in these poses. Meeting back in seated meditation. I'm going to use the bench for a modification for seated pigeon. Grounding one foot into the ground, lifting my right leg, placing my right shin over my left ankle, and placing my forearms down on my shin. You may find that pigeon in the first trimester is doable, but as you move on with that additional relaxant, it does put a little bit extra strain in your lower back doing a traditional pigeon, and this is a great way to release that pressure. Release on this side. Left shin crosses over right thigh, forearms come to left shin. Modified seated pigeon. Letting your breath flow. Releasing. Same thing one more time, right side. Releasing, same thing one more time, left side. Releasing both feet down. Coming to sit on your mat. Keeping your hands and your arms upright for a counter pose, windshield wipering the legs. For a little bit of internal rotation, we've been working a lot on external. Time to take a little internal rotation. Whenever you're ready, prepare for Shavasana pose. After the first trimester ends, it is not ideal or even safe in later pregnancy to take Shavasana on your back. So I always recommend the left side, and this is a safe alternative to traditional Savasana. I'm filming with little Sasha today, so she's coming to make her appearance. And then we will rest in our final Shavasana, and feel free to pause this video and stay here longer. When you're ready to come out, inhaling your hands overhead, meeting in seated meditation. Thank you for practicing with me today. Again, feel free to take a longer Shavasana, and I hope to see you next week. Thanks. Bye.